That's gonna work good. There's a. Oh. This bugger's stripped, so it's just hanging.
Oh yeah.
Cool. That's working good. Yay! Everybody meet Keli'i. This is our first time. First time rocking the Twitch action here.
Yeah.
And man, I just want to, gosh, you're doing such an awesome job on this project. And there's going to be so many beautiful blessings coming from it. And I just wanted you to like share. Everybody knows like, you know, my perspective and Kylie's perspective on working on the record, but you're like the cat, you know, behind the scenes, and you're the cat that's like, oh God, making it sweetie cherry cakes. Yeah. So tell it. Can you mind just telling a brief? I know you don't like to talk about yourself and you don't like to talk about shit, but just give your little elevator thing, like where you've been, where you're from, what you some of the stuff you've done. I know you've done a lot, and how you ended up here at Cuckoo Owl from your perspective.
Okay. I've been in music since I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in bands and had record deals and pretty much was in the music industry. Started when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
So did the whole LA thing and worked with a lot of really great talent and then just kind of got burnt out by the whole LA scene.
Yeah.
And it'll do that.
What are some of the studios you worked in over there?
I worked in, I had a room at this studio called the Back Room, which was that band, the Carpenters. You remember?
Yeah, I remember the Carpenters. My folks had that record.
Yeah, exactly. They built the studio. Her and her brother, they built the studio out in Burbank. No, in Glendale.
Her?
Yeah, Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter before she died.
Yeah. So this was their personal studio that they built, and so it was, back old school.
Yeah.
We were on tape and
2-inch tape.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Before that, I worked at a studio in Colorado where I learned a lot. 2-inch tape, recording with stuff, live instruments and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, yeah. So I had a room there where I worked with a lot of people, and I was kind of a resident there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an artist.
Cutting your teeth.
Yeah, there was an artist there who pretty much had it all booked out for his every project on the record label, which is so he always had a lockdown from a certain time he would come in or he wouldn't, and then I would use the time or whatever. But
if he wasn't using the time, you'd use the time.
I'd use the time, or I also had a room in there in the same studio, so it was a cool little family.
Nice.
But anyways, that's why I kind of started.
And that was in Denver?
No, that was in Glendale.
Oh, okay.
And now they tore down the mall there.
Of course they tore it down and made a mall. But now that mall's half empty.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So, oh man, where else have I worked? Ocean Way, Brandon's Way, so many studios in LA.
Man.
Capitol, did strings in Capitol, at Capitol Studios, which was really cool,
Yeah.
To
How many different like recording studio spots are in that building?
They think they have like maybe 4. Maybe there's an A, B, maybe a C room, maybe a D room, like a little product. But the main were like the A and B room.
Mm-hmm. With the big recording space and the control room.
With the.
They could put a whole orchestra in and had a big window to the.
Totally, that's what it is. Yeah, Sinatra, they all did their stuff there. It was like that was the spot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Larrabee, which is a great studio. A lot of like 90s hits came out of Larrabee. That sound, what was coming out of LA, Dr. Dre, all that type of stuff. friend of mine, Dave Pensato, who's a mix engineer, he had a room at Larrabee, and we mixed a few records up in Larrabee.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, really, this is all big console stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing in the computer. This is,
Pre-computer.
yeah. But anyway, that's
Not pre-computer, but pre-computer used as an engineering interface.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before everybody was going in the box, so now it's everybody's on a laptop. So.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
And so who are some of the cats you worked with over there, like doing that stuff?
Like I said, Dave Pensato, who's a really good friend of mine. He's a great teacher, engineer. As far as artists, I did a lot of R&B stuff. So I was like working with Babyface. I was working with Brian McKnight. Did a lot of work with him.
Yeah.
And then from that work, I worked with Justin Timberlake. I worked with Alicia Keys. Just random. You're just there.
Yeah.
And you just
doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a small world. It's like I always tell people, the music industry is like high school. It really is. It's like this, and I didn't do
There's
well.
clicks and shit.
Yeah, and so I didn't do well in high school. So what, it was just like, this is like I'm getting paid to go to high school. This is not cool.
Well, at least you're getting paid instead of being forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not getting paid to do what you want to do. You're getting paid to do what the record company wants you to do, which is sound like the last person, the last hit record, the last. So it's just constant. They're just killing your creativity we had to talk about it earlier today about it. But anyways, that's a little bit of my background as far as like what I've done in the music industry. And then I was an artist, publisher. I had an independent label. Man, I did it all.
That's bitching, dude. So what made you go from that to coming out to the belly button of the world and where that ain't happening?
I know, right? It's so cool because that's what makes this place really special to me.
Because that ain't happening?
It's like the place where all the geniuses come to get away because they don't want their genius to be exploited. No.
Oh,
that's
wow.
That's kind of how I see where we live, Big Island.
There's some really big time cats hiding out in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met them here, and I'm like, okay, like mine, okay, I see. So that's how I met you, bub. Is coming down here and.
Well, I wouldn't consider myself any of that, but.
Well, what you do here definitely
Thanks, man.
elevates the consciousness and awareness that needs to be focused on, the no nonsense. So that's cool.
So your perspective, like how we met and how we wound up starting to partner up on this.
Well, it's true because I've always wanted a studio in downtown Hilo. When I moved to Hilo in 2012, I was like, man, it'd be great to have a studio like downtown,
Yeah.
So it never happened. Just years went on.
That was 2012.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Yeah.
And then it never happened. It was just fine. It's just one of those things. You're like, man, it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You just put it on, and then
And you were doing like work in your home. You had to still set up.
I had it set up at the house, and then I was still going back to LA. I was still doing stuff in Colorado, music stuff. I went back to do a couple projects there. Yeah, always just bouncing around doing the music thing a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that spot came open, and it was like, I don't know what possessed you to ask me. You were like,
because you're the only cat. I had no idea of any of your credentials, and I just knew that you were into engineering and you kind of did it, and I was like, well, when that space opened up, and we had met like maybe a handful of times and just like chat, just real casual.
Totally.
And we had a mutual friend, and I was thinking, and when that space opened up, I was like, we need to take the Kukwa studio needs to expand into that space, and that space needs to be like the recording control room kind of aspect of it. And I was like, I knew this, I knew that, I knew you, and I knew you did it and did the music thing, but honestly, I had no clue how much you did, and I was like, dude, I just approached you like a big fucking idiot. It's like, dude, this thing is opening up. The only if you don't say yes, I'm not gonna take it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, and so then I showed you the space, and you're like, this is gonna work. And then I showed you the bags and bags and bags of recording foam, and you're like, yes, this is really gonna work.
Yeah.
And then you went to town. Well, we both went to town, but you went to town setting up the foam, and then had that crazy art that's like, I love that background behind the computer. You know, it's like that rose thing, dude.
Ears. I call them ears.
Ears.
Ears, yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It all worked out perfect. Like, it was just boom, boom.
And it was so easy.
Yeah.
Wasn't that easy?
Yeah.
Stupid easy. And it's like, oh yeah, this is what was supposed to happen. Right?
Yeah.
Cool, right? Isn't this guy awesome? Yeah. The place was just a little box. This uncle had a ukulele luthier little shop, and before I got this space, he had all his like big woodworking tools in here, like his lathes and his planers and shit, all in here. And so there's like wood dust everywhere, and I'm like, and do the whole thing here, but then so he moved into there and just moved all that stuff into his garage, and was doing that for years. And then he was like, oh, I got a new truck, and the payment of my truck is the same as my rent here, so I don't need this place. I'm going to just make my payments on my truck. And what's crazy, too, is that uncle right there is like an Keli'i. Such a good guy. Our first thing here, he brought pizza, you know. He's a super cool guy, loves the music, and he makes really cool ukuleles. But then when he moved out and I asked you, and you said yes, and I was like stoked. And then we built out the space, actually, and I had kind of a design for everything to be wrapped around the outer bit. And you said, nope, no, bub, we're going to put the computer and everything in the middle, and we're going to do, and I was like, yeah. that was fucking epic, brilliant. That's a beautiful design, dude. And I don't know if I've told you that. I told you that probably before. But
yeah, it has good flow.
Yeah. There's a circular kind of flow. There's separation. We can add, separation. We can delete some, and then we can record out here in the main studio space, or we can not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been working out amazing. So let's talk about everybody's favorite singer songwriter here, Keli'i Spark.
Yeah.
Dude. Hasn't that been a trip?
Yeah. That's been great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's a great songwriter. And she comes in, she knocks it out.
First takes and shit?
Yeah.
I know who does that. Not very many people do that.
She's got good chops, for sure. And they're getting better, too, each time. Which is
she's more relaxed each time. I mean, the first couple times she came in, she was a little nervous, and we heard it in her voice, and we're like, come back, let's re-record these vocals things. And we both were like, we both talked about it, and we're like, yeah, we hear some nervousness and stuff, so let's just come back. Now she's a little more relaxed, let's redo some of those vocals and get back to it. And it's just been a really beautiful thing. And yeah. So how do you think the record's going, and especially for our like April deadline?
Oh, great.
Yeah?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the record's coming together nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound it's starting to sound good and getting a nice cohesive sound and yeah.
Yeah. And so, how would you describe like the three of ours roles, let's say, in
Like in
recording
the
thing?
sessions.
Yeah, in the sessions, like Kylie's role, and then my role, and then your role.
Yeah. Well, she's the artist,
Mhm.
so she's driving the creativity. Like
Mhm.
she's spearheading that and
Mhm.
how that goes, and you kind of partner up with that
Mhm.
and kind of enhance that where you feel like you need to enhance it. And there's a good chemistry there. I'll just put it like that. Really good chemistry there creatively with you guys. And then I just, try to capture that and just capture the moment.
Mhm.
And as honest as I can capture it, and that's what I like about what we do. It's a very different style of production from what I'm used to.
Mhm.
I mean,
What are you more used to?
I'm used to like you know let's take that, spending a lot more time on the vocal, like really pushing, because when I was producing records, we didn't have auto tune. We couldn't see. We weren't moving notes around.
Mm-hmm.
You had to hit that note.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't hit it, you had to sing it until you hit it. And so if there's a lot of movement and a harmony, if there's a lot, and it depends on the level of a singer to be able to hear that, execute it on a microphone with the right expression, with the right breath, with the right, because they know themselves. So that takes a lot of recording experience, and they know how they sound and all that.
Yeah.
The voice is their instrument, and the
Yeah.
microphone it picks up that instrument. So it's like I akin it to a guitar and an amp, whatever amp you choose to run that guitar.
It's gonna change the sound. Yep.
And it's gonna change the way you play it.
Yeah.
And then what you hear and the melody, and so it's the same it's the same concept. So, but what we do here is really cool because there's there's a little minor fixing here and there, but we capture the honesty, we capture the soul of the vocalist coming in, what they felt that day, all that. And so it's not as overworked as what I'm used to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where a vocalist will literally just like wear themselves out just singing background vocals alone because the arrangement is so intricate and just there's so many layers to it. Where
Wow.
This is different. This is guitar, drums. It's very raw. It's I like it because I feel like when I'm mixing it, I'm at her performance. The energy that you would feel like at her show. That's kind of my approach to this record. I remember listening to this Butch Vig interview.
Butch Vig?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's a engineer that did Nirvana's records. That's his claim to fame was Nirvana.
Post Bleach.
And
do you come in at Nevermind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because they had a different producer for Bleach than Nevermind, and Nevermind was like a whole nother level from Bleach. Yeah.
Yeah, when they called Butch in, he it was an interview with Dave Grohl because he ended up doing the Foo Fighter records and all their records too.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a drummer for Garbage.
Oh shit! That producer is the drummer for Garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's the engineer, the mix engineer. He does, But anyways, I was listening to an interview of Dave Grohl, and he said that his favorite record, I forget what it was called. In Vitro, was that what it called? Something like that?
Yeah. In Utero.
In Utero. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking of childbirth. Yeah. But Dave was saying that was his favorite record because it like, and I think even Kurt was saying this too in an interview, that was their favorite record sonically because it's like that's what we sound like as a band.
Yeah.
It was just us playing. If it was distorted, if it was hot, if it was clipping, it didn't matter. Because it was. So I kind of like take certain approaches when I'm, in here listening to her music. And trying to create the energy.
Yeah, like channel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The listener would hear like at a show or like just her rocking out or doing her thing. Yep.
And makes me so happy that you tolerate my craziness so well.
No, you're crazy. You make it fun. See, you're a good producer because you have that thing where you're really good with people. You're really good with all kinds of people.
Thanks, dude.
So you have that gift. To be a really good producer, you have to have that.
Yeah.
Because you tolerate so many different attitudes and personalities with musicians and artists and things like that.
Yeah. And
so you've been in the creative field for a long time, so you understand that. So that
diplomacy.
Yeah, you do it well.
Gotta powder those artist popos a little bit. You can't get like you can't get like I got on the shampoo guy the other night on my birthday. Keli'i heard that. He was like, "Oh God, Bub, I can't believe that guy didn't kill himself."
Yeah, you let him have it. It was the truth, but it was just in a very harsh delivery.
Yeah. That was a few shots of tequila.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Blaming on the alcohol.
Just no filter. No, not even an ounce, a damn filter. Yeah, kind of let him have it. But so shucks, man. What do you see like coming in the future, like for this? I mean, I've never asked you this before. We've never really talked about this, and I have my vision of it, and honestly, I truly believe that our visions are the same. But I'd like to just hear you say it for the sake of saying it and sake of people here. Like, what do you see like in the next year or two, Kukuau Studio, like, and from your perspective and your role and everything?
Well, I just hope we get more projects like we're getting. She does the second record, that'd be awesome. And just I mean, she's a songwriter, so she's not gonna stop writing songs. So the content's there, and it's just a matter of what you guys want to do creatively with it. And then other artists that are coming through, recording. And
we got that one coming up in March.
Yeah,
Hannah Kaplan.
Yeah.
I messed up on her names.
She's on the
compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You worked on the compilation too. That was like our first project.
That was the first project.
Yeah, I handed you all these. I'm not gonna judge them. I'll let you. What did you think of like that? The first, like when we were working on the compilation, like some of those recordings that you weren't there to push the red button and make sure everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was good because I had to really sharpen up on my skills. Like it was like, okay, it's like when you buy a used car and but you learn how to fix it, and from there on you pick up that skill. So that's what I did.
You made that used car hum.
Figured it out, it's the best way I could. And I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Same thing, it was just raw.
Yeah.
I like it. That's what this space is. That's what this is.
Bring in the raw, and then we'll refine it.
Yeah. But not over refine it. Still keep it.
Have that raw vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. This guy, you guys. What do you say, J Matt? Yep. Oh gosh, there's gonna be a second record for sure. Actually, we're planning to just fucking co-write a whole nother record.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff where I think we're working on right now might be part of that it might not make it on this record, but we'll refine it and dial it in and put it on another one. And
This the piano ones you're talking about, or?
no,
okay.
we're working on the piano ones still. We're gonna do 2 more tracks, and I think those are gonna wind up being co-written too. And but they're gonna be piano based, and she's gonna do the piano performance. You haven't heard her on piano yet.
No.
She's a great piano player, dude. It's crazy. She's,
Yeah.
just as good as Karen Ann, with that Grateful tune. She that's her first instrument.
Nice.
And so that's gonna be a lot of fun. And these guys, what kind of questions you guys got for our man Keli'i? He's always. I'm so glad you decided to do this. You said yes to this. You're like the shadow man. He's in the background of the So Much Fun making of video, and he's like the magical glue in the whole bit. And dude, what about that? Like dude, that was
cool.
a hard, gnarly push.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, you like to work like that.
Yeah.
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 He's so like game and like gracious and I love how I can't thank you enough for like putting up with my crazy shit.
Likewise. I think we understand each other, so it works.
Yeah, dude. I've never had a working relationship that was so fluid and so easy and all these, and then this was like the first one, and all these other kinds of fluid working relationships are popping up. And I think because of the lessons that I'm learning from us and things like that, and then we're all these crazy artists, or like that crazy project that chick thought that she was gonna bring in that channeler.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cryon or something.
He's gonna channel some
alien
entity, and he was gonna and then there's the executive producer lady who kind of puts it all together, and she and dude didn't
I was
show
looking
up.
forward to that.
Me
really
too.
was. That was gonna be. I told my family about it. I was like, man, you guys don't even know what
kind of shit's falling in this joint. But then we called an audible, and she decided to do something else, and it was.
Yeah, she did a live stream.
Yeah, she did some kind of live stream and had a live little recording, and you're such a good sport about that, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I like the insanity. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable in that environment, and
little chaos.
Little chaos is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
break it up. I mean, we're so chill on the island. Yeah, it's almost like entertainment, really.
That was entertaining, especially when she was walking around in her underwear.
Yeah.
And there's people walking in the door. I'm like, why is that? She's asked me, why is that guy just standing at the door, like staring in? I'm like, maybe because you're walking around in your underwear. Put some clothes on, woman.
Yeah, she was.
That was, yeah. We've had some funny projects roll through.
Yeah.
Like we're doing like cool. That audio book with the healing glaucoma guys.
Oh yeah, Ray guys, they're awesome.
Here's a question from Toad. Is it true that music artists have their quirks, like must have Smarties ready in the dressing room, or in this case, blankets and wine? Well, we have plenty of blankets and plenty of wine.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran into any of that?
Oh yeah, they're definitely.
Like, what was the weirdest one that's off the top of your head?
Let's see. I mean, for the most part, in the industry that I worked in, it was a lot of drugs needed to be there. It was a lot of women needed to be there. That it was a lot of that type of scene.
Wow.
On.
How would
well, like you get the
hooker,
the weed, whatever ecstasy,
Coke,
whatever pills, like they want that type of shit.
Wow.
Some artists, they like having women around.
Like who? This is on the interwebs.
Man, they all do, really. I mean,
who doesn't, really?
Talk, they all be having, skanky type of broads around, like real talk.
Whoa.
It just comes with it.
Whoa. That's so strange.
It's so it would really irritate me because it's like I'm there to do music, but you got these guys who are famous and they have women who just want to fuck them and suck their dick, whatever.
So did you ever have them were they ever like giving blowjobs while they were like laying down tracks? Holy! He nods his head yes.
Yeah.
Cats are laying down tracks while they're receiving a blowjob.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's very it's like that. It is like that. To be a woman in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, period, to be a woman is like being a sex worker almost, damn near. Yeah. That's the type of respect you get. Like it's unfortunate, but that's the way. Hopefully it changes.
Maybe it's changing now more because more independent artists are coming out and.
Yeah, that's the only way it can change. But you're only independent for so long. If you're making a bunch of money, they're gonna snatch you up. But yeah, it might be a little easier now. Yeah. For females, but
because they got that, that.
Like you look at like Britney Spears, like Katy Perry, like that generation, like those women they went through a lot. They went through a lot. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, Christina Aguilera, they go through it, and you see it in their behavior. When they're acting out for a reason. They're not just fucking going crazy or whatever. They're human. And they have feelings, and they're being violated. So that's gonna happen.
Like that Weinstein guy, in the movie bits, and the same thing was going on in the music bits.
Yeah, women getting raped, all kinds of shit on tour buses, like. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh.
So. Oh man. Hopefully that's changing. With all the.
Oh, this one woman. She was Diane Warren. I'll drop her name. She was a big songwriter and big pop writer. She wrote like that Aerosmith record for that movie Armageddon.
Oh, whoa! She wrote the music for that.
Yeah, she's like.
And Aerosmith recorded it.
She writes those big Celine Dion. She writes those big ballads. She might even. I don't know. She might even worked on the Titanic record. But anyway, Diane Warren. She's like, she's, like that. You don't know if she's gay or not. Like she just kind of
a little androgynous.
Yeah. And I was working with this guy arranging. He was doing some string arrangements. This guy named Bill Myers. He did a lot of. He's a conductor and.
Yeah.
And he had his studios in the same. He was like, "Yeah, you should work with Diane." And I was like, "I've heard some things about her, like." And he was like, "Oh yeah, she's asexual. She doesn't have sex at all. Like that's her thing." And he was like, "But wait till you go to her studio." So you go to her studio and she's got like dildos hanging around. She's got sex toys like if you walked in there and we had like.
Sex toys hanging around?
Phalluses.
Yeah,
vaginas, and
wow.
Blow up dolls.
Like Kylie's backyard.
Right? I mean, that would be for this project, maybe.
No, the dog steals them. The dog steals them and turns them into dog toys. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway,
that was really strange, like, it's like,
Whoa.
Yeah, that was like in a recording studio, and she was just cool about that.
Wow.
And but she's super private. She only because Bill like recommended me. He was like, you know, I'll vouch for him. You know, was I allowed to see her world? But there's a lot of people like that are just very private. But when you go and you're just like, whoa, what's up with you? You
Well,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, because people have a lot of money and they just got nothing to do, like, but just sit there and just be weird and just they hang out with other weird people. Hollywood is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How weird is it?
It's just so fake.
Yeah.
You know, the conversations. There's just so much name dropping. Who you working with? Your relationships are never based on just people.
The merit of your character.
Not at all. It's who you know and what are you gonna do for me? How can I get a check from you? How can we get a check together? You know, it's all about that. We come up and yeah, that gets exhausting.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Especially when you're in an environment where the bar is like
Way high.
way high.
Yeah.
So I mean, you make a lot of money in the music industry, but the lifestyle, you have to maintain a certain lifestyle because
People are judging you?
your peers, everybody's kind of doing it, so you're kind of in this whirlwind of, you know, this is what you do and you make this kind of money, and you know, because that's what they're doing, and it's gonna last forever, and you know, because we're songwriters, and you know, and we'll just keep eating off our publishing, and you know, all it takes is one hit record, you're good. That's all you need.
Well,
I mean, if you're, you know, you don't throw away your money, but even so, like, just think of the Beatles, like their publishing. Like, if it was just one song, one of their songs, just take one of them, one of their hits. Yeah, generations eating, generations are eating off of that.
Yeah.
So it becomes this mindset of like the lotto, because you're trying to hit the record, you know, and then so the record company has you by the balls because they know you want that, so they can dictate what you're going to create creatively. It just becomes a cycle.
Well,
where you have songwriters, a lot of my colleagues, they're like, yeah, I got #1 records, but I don't like the song. I hate the record.
Oh, wow.
You know, I would, you know, they're not really my lyrics. They're like the buzzwords. You know, it becomes that.
Like a string of cliches.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like really portraying some kind of emotion.
Totally. Yeah, and so that's what I mean. So back to Miss Spark, this record. Yeah, it's very well written, well arranged. She has really good melodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I sing the songs all the time. I'm just hanging out, you know, and so she's got a beautiful voice, and she knows how to work it. You know, she knows what her strengths are, and that's what she focuses on. Her guitar playing she's just dope. She's a dope artist.
Right, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never worked with anybody. I mean, I haven't worked with nearly as many people as you, but I've never worked with anybody, including myself, who's like first takes as often as she does, you know. There's actually more artists I've worked with, I've had to say, okay, cool, I kind of get what you're playing here. Let me just play it, you know, and let me do some takes on it, and then.
No, that's been the case, definitely. You know, I've seen you do that, and but with her,
no need.
No, and that's the beauty of being a singer-songwriter. That's a really, really good singer and well seasoned. Like you can tell, she spends a lot of time on her records, developing her records,
with her instrument in her hand.
Yep, instrument in her hand, and that's important. Doing that along with recording yourself and learning that process just makes you a better artist.
Right. And I think it's a huge thing too that she has that time with her instrument doing her in her show.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
That's what I think that has been a huge thing for her, tightening her whole music thing by having that instrument in her hand much.
That's how.
Dude, she'll bust out 6 hours playing songs for lots of these guys, and she's like on point like that whole damn time, you know. Yeah, she'll take little weird breaks and and point the camera at a funky frog or something, but it's really, yeah, she's really on to something, and I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah, and it's cool that her fans get to see her process of developing, and her project coming together. So and being a part of that too.
Yeah, they're very involved. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we love how involved you guys are in this whole process,
Yeah.
So my man Jonathan, he met the guitarist for Berlin. You remember that band?
Berlin, that's from the 80s.
Yeah. And when I asked him about it, he was he was a professor at the university. He said, terrible music. And that was the end of that conversation. Yeah, a lot of artists, Toad says, a lot of artists I watch in interviews have problems with big companies and the board. Normally not artists, and these people aren't artists, but they still dictate these changes because they're trying to have the artist that they're with like fit some kind of mold.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. That's a great point, because that's what pretty much destroyed it. That's what I saw happen was creatives no longer were A&Rs, because what was happening was the record companies were being bought out by like a conglomerate in Europe.
Yeah.
Who just wants this company on their books. But they could give two shits who is who on the roster. They're looking at a bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to the record companies to where there's like really just kind of three. You know, you have Warner Brothers, Universal, and Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like the big three.
Not Virgin or?
No, all those got lumped up and then just dissolved, and lumped up and then dissolved. You know, I actually got swallowed in the Virgin merger because I had a with John, the guy that came up.
Oh yeah, I remember John. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had he was my artist. I had a production deal over at Virgin, and they kept Virgin because Janet Jackson was on Virgin, Lenny Kravitz was on Virgin. So they had a couple big names on Virgin, so they didn't really want to swallow it up. And Matt Serletic, he was the president of Virgin, and he's like a big producer. He did Matchbox 20. That's kind of his claim to fame. And worked on a Santana record with Rob Tom.
Oh yeah, the Matchbox 20 guy.
Yeah, and so
that was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Was that Smooth
or
something? Yeah.
So because of that, they made him head of Virgin.
Whoa.
And I know, just like that. And,
from a producer to an executive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're trying to bring the but the problem is that they started bringing attorneys and accountants in to become department heads. No more creatives. Those guys were no more artist development. It was just like bottom line. So now that's why you have all these artists. They're kind of like these
clowns.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they look like to me. Like,
no, it's a great way to describe it.
Who's that? Just, like Tech Nine and stuff.
Yeah, they're just puppets. And you talking about 6ix9ine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's
a clown.
Yeah, he's interesting guy.
You ever meet him?
No. That's the generation after me.
Oh, okay.
That's when music just started going to. Yeah, but you're absolutely right, and they make all the creative decisions. And like, I'll give you an example. When I had a publishing deal with EMI, so they were my publisher for my whole career, and every publisher, whether it be Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal. So EMI got swallowed up into Sony. Sony bought them. After they killed Michael Jackson, they took his catalog, and it was interesting how they got the rest of Beatles, how Sony acquired the rest of the Beatles catalog, because EMI owned part of it, and because EMI was Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
Yeah, so EMI owned the Beatles stuff, and so did Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Jackson was owned by Sony.
Oh.
So as soon as Michael Jackson died. Sony got the rights to the Beatles, and then they also swallowed up EMI, which had the other half of the catalog. It was a trip how they did it because they just manipulated the Jackson family and the attorneys that were working with the Jackson estate. It was Mary Jackson, his mom. She really didn't know, all the, and then they murdered Michael Jackson's attorney, who was my attorney, Peter Lopez.
Whoa.
You can Google this. They say he committed suicide in the back of his house, blew his head off, which he would never do.
Yeah, and you knew the guy.
He was my attorney.
Yeah.
He did my Virgin deal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got him to do the Virgin deal.
You had the same attorney as Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he did Tiger Woods.
Every time I talk to this guy, I learn new shit. Not only about like music and engineering and recording, but also about him.
Yeah. It was more like a power move because I knew I had the Virgin deal, but I was like, if I'm going to get the best deal, I got to get the best attorney.
Yeah.
So me and my partner, we spent the money, and he knew Peter Lopez. He was like, I know Peter. He was like, he's going to cost this much, but he'll get us the best deal. Because he negotiated all Michael Jackson's deals in the 80s. So the Pepsi, like all the stuff when Michael was the biggest ever.
Yeah.
So he had stuff on Michael Jackson's estate. He was in the way of some things.
Oh.
So they got rid of him too.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's that type of world.
Mafia shit.
Straight out mafia shit. Straight out.
Man.
That's the music industry. I know, it's pretty
It's
great.
crazy.
I know.
Yep, we always need the best people. Oh yeah, Dandy's talking about her Kylie's fingertips when she's playing steel. Yeah, that nylon string idea was, it's kind of my idea because when you're playing a lot of guitar, like playing it on nylon string makes that last a lot longer than a steel string. But yeah, that was a fun day. But what so you came to your growth and your thing at a very interesting time in the music industry where stuff was transitioning from R&B to hip hop, and then the lines were starting to get blurred there. How'd that go?
Horribly.
Oh God.
It was horrible because now there's no more R&B. Like I was talking, there were R&B bands. We had male singers, female groups, male groups, solo artists, and they were all singing R&B. And now there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Hip hop swallowed it up.
Yeah, what they did is they merged it with hip hop.
So
like I was telling you today, actually, the conversation is when we would turn in songs, they would, no, take the bridge out. We're going to put a LL Cool J right there. And they started throwing rappers on our songs. Because the kids, it's always about the kids and the youth. And so that's what they felt like was going to sell records. But because of that, we don't even have that genre anymore. It's completely gone.
Even though it's still there, like when you type in genres of music and stuff, but it's not really there. It's
not really there. There's like there's only a couple artists, and it's very, if you know R&B music, I grew up listening to it. So my dad played it, and he grew up listening to it. So I heard what he grew up listening to, and it was just very diverse. It didn't sound the same. The artists were very creative. You had P-Funk, to James Brown, to Earth, Wind and Fire, to Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross is Supreme,
all those cats,
Shaka Khan, just so many different, and it was just R&B music though, right? Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes, Al Green,
Bill Withers,
just
yeah.
And what happened was we also, they got rid of all the R&B departments, and then they were just like, you gotta start writing music that will cross over. That was the other thing.
Cross over to what?
Pop. It needs to sound more pop.
That's what J Matt was just saying. No R&B. It's hip hop and pop.
It's hip hop and pop, and so they got the hip hop, and then the pop stuff is very dance oriented or hip hop trappy, feel. But it's not like we started to have that. We started to have like that movement when Erykah Badu, like I was telling you, and Jill Scott and D'Angelo, like guys were coming out playing Maxwell. They were touring with bands playing. So there was kind of a resurgence of R&B then, but then record companies, they just like, no, we don't have the money for those acts anymore.
Yeah.
And they just,
why do you think they stopped having the money?
Hip hop was making more money, and it was less money to make it.
Yeah, it's cheaper to make. It's like McDonald's food versus going to the Black Angus.
Yep.
I like me some Black Angus.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So that's what happened.
Toad said he heard some new Alicia Keys songs completely changed. Like a remix? Is that what you're talking about, Toad? Wrong site. No. We'll have the Black Anuses are
yeah, I know, right?
Are after midnight with the BBCs. Oh yeah. Oh, complete change the style. So is Alicia Keys' song, and she was doing it. Yeah, are more pop now than R&B. Yeah. And you've worked with her, right?
I worked on her first album.
Wow.
What
was the name of that record? You remember?
Songs in A minor, I think it was.
Songs in A minor. Yeah. Who comes up with the title? Like, let's say, for example, that.
Well, that was probably Alicia Keys is Clive's little pet doll. I'll just say that. So Clive has his...
Clive Davis.
Clive Davis, yeah.
And who's Clive Davis?
Clive Davis is a music mogul, legend, executive in the music industry. He goes back from Janis Joplin.
Wow.
The signing of Janis Joplin and managing Janis Joplin. And from what I hear, might be attached to Janis Joplin, her death. In a not so good way, that they might be reopening the case. But anyways, that's just a rumor I heard. But I just think it's interesting because he's done some things, other things.
Yeah.
He's not all on the up and up, that guy. But anyways, he found Alicia Keys. He developed her. He made her into what she is, and that's Clive Davis.
So how much did you work with him?
I worked with him, that whole Arista family. Like I did a record with this girl.
Clive was with Arista?
Clive ran it. Yeah, that was his label.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
That was his, They gave him a label because he started out as an attorney. There's a really good Netflix thing on him.
Oh.
Yeah.
You remember what it's called?
Clive Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was funny because I was watching this. I can't watch this. I've been fucked over by so many people in this video. I don't know. That's literally how I felt.
Shit.
But he signed a lot of urban stuff, so he did a lot of the R&B. He was responsible for a lot of the R&B labels, independent labels that were coming out that I was doing a lot of work for. So, like Puffy, Bad Boy, like Clive is at the helm of that. And that's just one example.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Clive, and then once they got J Records, he left Arista. They gave him J Records, and then he started getting all the American Idol stuff. So all the American Idol stuff was going to Clive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Coming out on his label. But anyways, Alicia Keys that's his darling. And, he's got to keep her relevant. So she's got to compete with, Ariana Grande or whoever is out there, doing their thing. So
I think of some of the artists my students bring in, like Billie Eilish and stuff.
Yeah, she's really popular now too.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, man.
Quite a journey,
Yeah.
my brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's good to be here just doing music, like, without all the fucking bullshit.
Right?
Just getting projects done and, you know, just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it, you know.
No one's trying to fuck anybody.
No. And that's what to me, that's what makes great music. That's the way it used to be. I mean, a band would go away. There were so many remote studios back in the 70s and the 80s. Like, Caribou Ranch was one in Colorado. Where you would just go into the mountains.
Record a record.
Yeah, I think the Doobie Brothers, the Eagles did a record there. Like, just, you know, bands with the Rolling Stones.
They'd stay there. It's like a hotel.
Yeah, it's like a house, and you got a caretaker, and she's making the break, whatever, and everything you need is there, and you have no radio influence. It's just you doing that, and this is the closest thing to that. Really, like being out here.
Yeah.
Like we don't listen to radio. There's no radio out here.
Oh man, if there was some like famous artist that wanted to throw down, you know, $1 million or $2 million, we could put them up into some nice digs in the jungle, and they could come down to the studio with bring coffee from Starbucks next door. You know, that'd be pretty fun. So we're putting that out there.
Yeah, I think people should come to Hawaii and record. You know, more people. Like I said, records were made differently back in the day. If you guys are listeners, you guys are consumers. The reason why a lot of the music is the way it is because the creative process is different. You know, now everything's on a laptop. It's by a kid who just knows how to program and do, you know, move cursors and mouses around, and it's not really somebody picking up an instrument and pouring their soul into the playing of something, the breathing into something. And
like that intern we were working with that takes the mouse and just all this just goes around, then clicks on something, then he goes spinning the mouse around. I'm like, dude, you're gonna wear that fucking mouse out, dude. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different, and you know, and I would like to see, you know, the art form come back of producing records, because nowadays you have these guys that are kind of beat maker DJs that become record producers, and that's fine. There's a place for that too, it's just, but if that's the only thing we have to offer, you know, the consumers out there,
listeners.
There's so much more music, and that's why, like a record like this, I'm always about independence. Just get your music out there. Fuck the major labels. There's an audience to hear it, and they will support it. People, you know, if it's feeding their soul, if it's making them feel like, they'll support it, just like they do anything else. Just like you like food, so you go back to that restaurant. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and how interesting it is. Let's say for Keli'i, she's got this fan base before ever recording a record.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting situation we're in. Actually, we're like we're like trying to get this thing kind of done to feed that fan base, gives that fan base something to you know, have and take home and listen to all the time, and very rarely is there an artist that's so fortunate to already have like a big fan base without like a half a dozen records behind their belt.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting predicament to be in. And
yeah, that's the cool thing about the world. The technology, and it's not just one way, you know, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if you just put yourself out there, there will be people that support you.
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're doing right here, too. Yeah. We're just putting it out there. And I don't know if any of you guys are from Michigan, but we got some crazy, you know, 1K donations from a couple of different people in Michigan. And you don't even know. Like, there was like a few days there where I was going, oh, fuck, how are we going to pay the fucking bills, bro? Like, what? Oh, fuck. How are we going to pay this month? How is this month going to get? And then, bam, like, whew.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was crazy.
It was really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of magic happening.
Yeah,
and all
man.
lot of different ways, you know, creatively. And,
Yeah.
Yep. Bro, and I love sharing the magic with you, bro.
Yeah, likewise.
This is my good brother, Keli'i. I'm so glad you guys got a chance to meet the man behind the trip. And
so high. I look so
No. Oh, dude, when I started this show today, I just got done talking to my cousin, and he's telling me about all these horrible things that are happening to him, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, oh great, I'm about to start the show, and I look like I'm freaking just the highest motherfucker in Hawaii. But I'm not.
That's me.
He's the highest motherfucker in Hawaii, not me, man. I'm just what they call it, holy howly. And they're like, oh, you bro, on the skateboard, you want holy howly. But man, thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna give you another hug, dude. Oh, I love you so much, bro. Dude, this is gonna be so good. We're just barely, what are we, at a year now? No.
In February, 2 years?
2 years in February.
Wow. Oh yeah, because this last year just flew by. It was like a fucking blur. We didn't even do 2020. Wasn't even like a real thing.
Wow. But we busted out a lot of music 2020 though. The studio is working. I mean, better than it was in the first year, you know.
No, most definitely. God, that was such a blur though.
Yeah. So, gosh, it'll be 2 years February we've been doing in that. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Bobby Reno.
Love Bobby Reno. I'm gonna make a T-shirt with Bobby Reno's face, and he's like with his mustache going, yeah, and then it's gonna underneath it's gonna say, "What would Bobby do?" Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the first ones we were doing.
Yeah, Bobby Reno. Yeah, we did like a country demo and all kinds of shit. That's Keli'i, man. My man, Keli'i. I'm so glad you guys got a chance to meet him. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and today we were talking about how music industry has changed and things, and I was like, in the back of my brain, I was like, dude, we gotta just have a sit down interview sometime with Keli'i and flesh out let you guys know what his story is, and he's a huge part of this whole thing. Oh, thanks, Bronson, man. Thank you. Yeah, educational all around. We learned about, gosh, look at all the things we learned today. We were learning about space stuff. We were learning about the stock market from Linus. We learned about the music industry from Keli'i. We were learning about how, yeah, right, he's so damn cool, right? And so, it takes a big old team to pull all this stuff off. I was just talking to the artist. Let's say this was for Kylie's record. She's doing the cover, and she had this cool sketch. I'm like, can we just kind of move this a little bit? And she's like, oh yeah, okay. And then I show her. She shows me how much she's progressed, and I'm like, you didn't do that thing. You didn't move like that. You didn't. And it's so important because I want the direction of the flow of the art to like point in different ways and things. And she's like, oh crap, yeah, you're right. It's, oh God, the paint. I guess I can do that. I'm like, but you gotta. And sometimes I gotta be the guy who has to be very diplomatic and share, sometimes altering the ideas of an artist, and helping to make those ideas more like functional. Make them work, make them more palatable, thinking about the big picture and the scope of the project, and having that piece of that project fit with the rest of it. So that's Yeah, all artists do. You know, it's kind of what it is, and the ones that don't, God bless them. And but you know, chances are good if they were to be collaborating with somebody or taking direction. The facilitator. I'm facilitating, and so blessed to be able to bring all these people together. But and often you'll find this all the time in art. Like an artist does their thing. It could be whatever kind of medium, does their thing, and it's great. But then when they start like collaborating with another artist, it expands, and it becomes like a whole new kind of, not new so much. It still has the still flavors of that, but it expands and becomes that much better, and the audience widens and good things happen. Right? It's a huge part of the process. Feedback and critique. Man, Jonathan, so glad you came out, dude. I was like, all right, guys, sorry, I gotta like text this twitch.tv/Kukuau studio thing to my man, my buddy Jonathan here. Maybe he'll show up, and I'm glad you did, dude. It's nice. Thank you. Thank you. There's some really cool people in here and doing some fun stuff. But I'm going to have to make some shishi and start wrapping it up. But I want to thank you guys again for all coming out and joining us over here at Kukuau Studio in the belly button of the world and being so awesome. Oh, gosh darn, D Wolf, man. Yeah. Well, if I don't know, I can't remember if you're following this channel or not. But if you're following this channel and you have the Twitch app, you'll be notified when we're going on. And I try to post something on Facebook and Twitter, Kukuau Studio on Twitter and Facebook, letting people know like a good hour or two in advance before we go on. And yeah, just trying to make this thing cool for you guys and make it cool for us and make this kind of work. I mean, still, it's only like, we're lucky to make $1 an hour doing this, but there's other great things that that come from it. So I'm not too sweating it. See, Houston, it's already part of the family. You're in, bro. You got in. There's like the in bits, dude. You're gonna be. I hope you join us more, man, and not Mormon, but more often, my brother. And you guys have a beautiful night. And I'll let you know when we get the shampoo in. Maybe I'll set up the camera outside and I can try it out under the hose for everybody. And no, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I might. Who knows? Shit gets crazy here. Shit gets weird. We get weird. Yep. We're gonna be getting that kegging. Oh yeah. Savor this. Have a beer. That's a great idea. Geniuses in this joint. Geniuses. Yeah. Ooh, I'm coming over. I'll be over there in 45 minutes. No, I'm not. Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, I'm really glad you guys appreciate what we're doing over here, and love sharing it and having you be involved in the process and doing all that stuff. But gonna have to call it a night. Much love, mahalo, blessings, thanks again, and and I'll be keeping you posted when we have those Kukuau compilation records ready to go, ready to spin. Hey? Sounds good. And try to get you guys. First of all, I don't know how many of you have record players, but trying to get you guys, yeah, ready to go, ready to spin, ready to sell, ready to get in your hands for the, yes, let's spin it. Spin that bugger like a crazy spinner. All right, so this is Bub Pratt over here at Kukuau Studio, signing off. Gonna have a rager, definitely, probably end of this month, with a lot of the artists coming in and playing sets, and we'll definitely have that live for you guys to enjoy as well. Ciao, Bella. Have a blessed evening, and probably catch you guys on Monday. I think I need to take a day off tomorrow. But hope to catch you on Monday. Have a blessed night. Aloha from the belly button of the world. Mahalavya.